Hello there, welcome to the second edition of our past questions and answer from the BECE Basic Education Certificate exam. We have been looking at mathematics, okay, and we'll be looking at 2023 past questions, okay. So we've done a video, we've done a class where we solved all questions in paper 1. So today we'll look at the paper 2 of your mathematics exam in Basic Education Certificate examination. So today, let's look at paper 2. Paper 2 also has 60 questions, all right? And we'll look at those 60 questions in this session. And we'll solve the questions. I will guide you on how to solve these questions, how not to pick an answer that looks like the answer, okay? How to pick the correct answers. All right, so if you're ready, let's proceed. So let's look at the first question we have here. Question 1 says, factorize mx minus my minus nx plus ny. Okay, so number 1, it says factorize mx minus my minus nx plus ny. Remember I said in our last session, some of these topics we have here, we already have them in our channel here, okay? If you just go to the playlist, go to Basic Mathematics, you will see like this particular question you want to solve now, okay? Factorization of algebraic expressions, we've done it, okay? So you can go back to that video, study it again, listen to the class, and you can come back to make your practice in this past question. So let's look at this. So this is mx minus my minus nx plus ny, all right? So to factorize means in the parameters that we are given, okay, we need to sieve out or bring out the factor that we can find in the expressions we have there. For example, we can group this now into 2. For instance, we have mx minus my, and we also have nx plus ny. So, you know, factorization by grouping, you should know that we've done this. So just go back to the class that we have in this channel on that. So now, what do we do here? We have mx, my, nx, ny. So the beautiful thing there is that if you look at those expressions, in each of the brackets that we have there, we have something that is common, okay, to everything we have there. For example, here, we have m common here and common here. So m is a factor of this expression. M is a factor of this expression. All right, so what we simply do, simply bring out the m, which is a factor of the expression. Once this m comes out, then you now put x minus y. So what we just did there was to detach this m that is common to these both expressions, bring them out, and bring the x and y. Such that if you expound this, expound means multiply m by everything we have here, it will give you this. So that is what we simply did there. You get the point now? All right, so we come here. Now we come here, we have minus, remember we have nx and ny. So what that simply means is that here, n is a common factor here, is also here, okay? So the common factor of these two is n. So we bring out the n out, all right? So we'll put our x here now. What would that be there? Is x. So the problem is, what are we going to put here? Is it plus or minus? Remember, whatever we put here, when we multiply, okay, let me show you an instance of what I'm talking about. If this is plus now, and we put y, now we are wrong, okay? And I will tell you why we are wrong. We are wrong because if you multiply everything here by this, it will not give you this. Do you understand the point now? How? This is minus n, because when you are multiplying any thing that is negative or that has minus at the back, that minus or that negative goes with it in that multiplication. So this is not n times x, this is minus n times x. Why I didn't even mention to you that there is a plus m here is because every real number or alphabet or whatsoever has an invisible plus sign. So this is minus n times x, that is why we have minus nx. Then minus n times plus x, minus times plus is minus, so but what we have here is plus, what we have here is plus. So in factorization, you must pay attention to the operation that we have there, to the signs that we have there, okay, such that when you factorize, there are some factorization that may have to change the sign to the opposite sign, so that when you multiply, it will give you back what you had before. So what will be put here is minus. Why? Minus n times minus y. This minus times minus automatically changes to plus. So you have that thing at the back of your mind, right? So it changes to plus. That's why we have plus ny here. So this is the correct thing. Is that okay now? So the next thing we'll do is, okay, so we bring the ones outside the bracket and pick either of the two brackets, and that is our factorization. All right, so this is m minus n, put it in bracket, and x, choose any of them, minus y. Now this is our answer. This expression has been factorized to this. It has been factorized to this because if you expand this, it will give you this, right? If you do m times x, it will give you mx. M times y, it will give you minus y. Then if you do minus n times x, it will give you minus nx. If you do minus n times minus y, it will give you plus ny. So that is how we got that. So the correct answer there is minus m minus n and x minus y. So option D is the correct option there. All right, so we'll go to the next question. So the next one says that we should factorize 3a squared, 3a squared plus 7a minus 6. Okay, so say we should factorize 3a squared plus 7a, okay, minus 6. So this, it is easy for us to factorize two expression grouped into two. Now, if we look at this, this is just grouped into this, and there is no other one that should be grouped to 6. So what we can do is, in the expression of 7a, we can make this 7a to have two expressions that will also mean 7a. For example, if we say this is equal to 3a squared, all right, plus 9a minus 2a, right? So if we have 9a minus 2a, the answer is still 7a. So we just introduce this to make us have something that should have at least two expressions in bracket, okay? So minus 6. Is that okay now? All right, so we have this, so we can now group now, right? So this is 3a squared plus 9a, all right? Then we have minus 2a minus 6, right? So we have this. Okay, so we have this now. But then you should understand that what we have here now, if we are to multiply this, by everything here, do you understand me now? This 6, this minus now will not become plus because minus times this will not become plus. But let's leave it like this first. When we do the next step, then I will have to change this thing so that when we multiply, it will still be minus, right? If we keep it like this, it will be plus. So let's go. Now, what are the factors common here? 3 is a common factor because 3 can divide 3 and can also divide 9, right? So 3 is a factor here. Another factor here is A. Just A. A is here and A is here. So we have 3A as a common factor. So this is 3A into, if we divide this 3A squared by 3A, what will be left is just A. So this 3 into 3 is 1. A into A is 1. So it's just 1A. Now remember what we have here is 2A. So it's just 1A that will be left, which is this A. Then plus 3 into, what is it called? Into 9. Okay? 3 into 9 will give us 3A too, right? 3A. 3 times 3 is not, no, just 3. It will give us just 3. Can you see that now? Because just A and A, we have brought it out. So 3A, that's why just 1A is left here. Then we come back to this place now. We have minus, okay? What is common in these two expressions is 2. Do you understand me? 2 is common here and here, right? So 2 is a factor. We bring it out and we now put 2 into 2 is 1. 1 times A is A. So this is A. But then this plus will change to, this minus will change to plus. Because if we do minus 2, this minus 2 times minus 6, it will give us plus. But what we have here is minus. So this will be plus. 2 into 6, that is 2 into 6 now is 3. Can you see it now? Now, what we did here is because if we say minus 2 times A, that is minus 2A. Minus 2 times plus 3. Minus times plus is minus. So that is how we have minus 6. So this is the correct expression. So this is now, okay, the ones inside the bracket, 3A, right, minus 2, put it inside the bracket, all right, then we have A plus 3. Okay, so that is our expression there. Okay, so the correct option there is 3A minus 2, 3A minus 2, then A plus 3, A plus 3A minus 2, A plus 3, that is option C. All right, 3A minus 2, right? Okay, then A plus 3. Yeah, so option C is the correct option. So let's go to the next one. The next one says simplify, that's number 3. Simplify (3 over 5x), 3 over 5x, all right, minus 2x minus 1 over x. All right. So let's say we should simplify this. This is 2 fractions, okay, subtraction of fractions, okay, but this is fraction in algebraic form, right? So we have, this is equal to 3 all over 5x minus 2x minus 1 over x. So the first thing we do is we'll look for the LCM of the denominators, just the same way you do your fraction. Now we have done this. We have done addition and subtraction of fractions in algebraic form, right? We have done this thing in this class, and I think some of these questions are repeated questions. I know we possibly have done something like this, okay? So what you do, what is the LCM of 5 and x? To find the LCM of even of numbers like of expression like this, this is it. X into itself is 1. X into 5 is 5 because this x will go into this one. Then 5 here, 1, 1. Okay, so the answer is 5 times x, which is 5x. So the LCM of 5x and x is what? 5x. Are you with me now? All right, so the next thing we'll do, the next thing we have to do there is the normal thing you know about LCM, about subtraction, addition, and those simplification of fractions. This is what you do there. Denominator divide by this LCM, the answer you multiply it here. Just the same thing you multiply, just like that, okay? So here, x divide 5x, okay, will give us 5, right? X divide 5x. Look at it. 5x, you divide it by x. This cancel this. The answer is 5. Do you get the point now? So that 5 multiplied by its numerator, right? So that will mean 5 times 2x, this 2x minus 1. Can you see that? Then we'll bring this minus down. Then we go to this side. 5x divided by 5x, right? This, the answer will be 1. So 5x divided by 5x is 1, right? 1 times 3 is 3. Do you get that point now? So the answer will now be, right? And we'll expand everything and we open everything here. So it will be 3x, it will be 3 minus 5 times 2x will be 10x. Then minus 5 times minus 1 will be plus 5. All over what? 5x, right? We are not done. They say we should simplify it. This is not simplified enough. So the next thing we do, we go to this now. This is 3 and this is 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. So this is 8 minus 10x all over 5x. So this is our answer. It is not simplified. There is no other thing we can do to this particular expression. So 8 minus 10x over 5. 8 minus 10x over 5. So option E is the correct option there. All right? So let's go to the next question. The next question is question 4. Question 4 says, that is number 4 now. Question 4 says 3, that we should solve 3 minus k over 3 equal to 1. All right? So I will always tell you, so that you don't get confused, put this over 1, 3 over 1, because any number without a fraction has an invisible denominator of 1, okay? Any number with that is not a fraction, all real numbers they have invisible denominator of 1, okay? So that's why I have to put it there, all right? Since we are dealing with another fraction, so minus k over 3 is equal to 1, right? So let's simplify this fraction before we do anything else. You don't just start doing cross multiplication here. In mathematics, you take every process a step at a time, right? Okay, so what we'll do now is simplify this. What is the LCM? Okay, I have taught you how to do this fraction using this method of find the LCM, put it here, then do this over this. Another way you can do this thing is simply multiply this denominator. Look at, multiply this denominator by this. So 3 times 3 is 9. So this is 9, right? So 1, you now multiply this other denominator by this numerator. 1 times k is k, so you put your minus k there, right? Then all over 3, 1 times 3, you now multiply the two denominators, it will give you 3. So we have done, so if we had even done this type, look at it, the LCM of this and this is this. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times k is k. Can you see it now? Good. We will still come here. 1 divided 3 is 3 times 3 is 9. So whichever method, I like using this method in exam, during exam, because it is faster for me, right? Okay, so let's go. So this is equal to 1. At this point, we cannot do anything further to this fraction, so we cannot cross multiply this over 1 also. So cross multiply, right? All right, so I am multiplying this one to everything here. 1 times 9 is 9, minus 1 times k is k, then is equal to 3 times 1 is 3. Do you get that now? All right, so the next thing we have to do now, let's remove this. All right, the next thing we have to do now is divide, okay, take like terms. This 9 should go to where we have 3, right? Good, so we have minus k should be alone is equal to 3 minus 9. So minus k will be equal to minus 6. 3 minus 9 is minus 6. So if you can permit me to continue this solving here, so we have minus k is equal to minus 6, right? Good, so what do we do next? Divide both sides by the coefficient of k. What is the coefficient of k here? We have, I think we've learned coefficients, okay? What is the coefficient of k here? The coefficient of k here is minus 1, right? So we are dividing by minus 1 over minus 1. Is that okay now? So minus removes minus. 1 divide k is still k is equal to minus divide minus, it goes off. 1 divide 6 is still 6. So k is equal to 6, right? So our correct option there is option C. We go to the next. All right. So the next says solve the inequality. Solve the inequality 2 open bracket x minus 1 is greater than what? Greater than 3, right? So they say we should solve this. To solve this is simple. This is enclosed in a bracket, so open the bracket by multiplying everything outside the bracket by what we have in the bracket. So 2 times x, this is 2x. 2 times minus 1 is minus 2 is greater than 3, right? So we take like terms, minus 2 comes here and changes to plus 2. So this is now 2x greater than 3 plus 2, right? So 2x is greater than 5. So divide both sides by the coefficient of this x, which is 2, right? Good, so 2 here. So x being alone now is equal to 5 over 2. And they gave us the answer in a mixed fraction, in a mixed number, right? So we change this to mixed fraction. 2 into 5 give us 2 whole number, remainder 1 over 2. So x is greater than 2 whole number, 1 over 2. So we have the correct option there as option C. X is greater than 2 whole number, 1 all over 2. 2 whole number, 1 over 2. All right, so let's go to the next one. When 15 is added to 1 over 4 of a number, let's look at that. 6. When 15 is added to 1/4 or 1 over 4 of a number, the result is 4 times the number. Find the number. First of all, what do we do? Let the number be, let's say, y. Let the number be y, right? Let it be y. It doesn't need to always be x, okay? It can also be y. All right, so the question says, when 15 is added to 1 over 4 of, when we hear of, that means multiplication, right? So they are saying, when 15, can you see, is added to 1 over 4 of which number? Y. That we say let the number be y, right? So of y, they say the answer. Can you see that? They say the result or the answer or the equal to, once you hear the result or the answer or is, once they tell you is this, when I add this to this, it is now this. Just know that they are talking about equal sign, introducing equal sign. So they said the result, that is equal sign, is 4 times the number. That is, the result is 4 times the number. Can you see that now? That is that statement. Every statement you have there, this is this in mathematical form. So just put this in mathematical form and you can. So they say what? Find the number, right? So this is 15 plus 1 over 4 times that number is y, right? Is equals to 4 times y is 4y, right? So this is now 15 plus, this is over 1 now, right? Multiplication, 1 times y is y, 4 times 1 is 4, is equal to 4y. So this over 1. So we do the LCM of this, okay? But to make it fast, okay, we just do 4 times 15, 4 times 15, then 1 times y, 1 times 4, okay? So this is 4 times 15 is 60, right? So this is 60 plus 1 times y, all right, over 4 times 1 times 4, that is 4, is equals to 4y, right? At this point, we cross multiply, right? We need this space for something, okay? So this multiply this way, this multiply this way. So we have 60 plus y, because 1 times everything here is 60 plus y, is equal to 4 times 4y. Can you see that now? All right, so this is 60 plus y is equal to 4 times 4y is 16y. Can you see that now? All right, so this will mean take like terms, okay? Excuse me. You know, this can be 16y, can also be written as 16y is equal to 60 plus y, right? It's still the same thing. I just took this one to be on this side. I took this one to be on this other side, right? So if we take like terms mean bring y to where we have y, right? Where we have y. So this will be 16y minus y is equal to 60 now is alone, right? 60 stands alone. Are you with me? All right. So if that 60 stands alone, it means 16y minus y is equal to 60, right? So 16y minus y gives us 15y is equal to what? 60, right? So divide both sides by 15 so that we can get y, what y is, okay? So 15 into this place is 1. 1 times y is equal to 15 divide 60. Remember, we even said 4 times 15 is 60. So it means 15 divided 60 should give us 4, right? So 4. So it means that, therefore, the number is 4. Since we said that, let y represent that number. So the number is 4. Option B is the correct option, all right? So we tick off option B and go to the next one. The next one says, find the value of P, right? Okay, find the value of P if 2P, excuse me, is equal to 2P is equal to 15 minus what? Minus P. So we are asked to find the value of P. So this is straightforward. Take like terms, bring P where you have 2P. All right, 2P, this minus now changes to plus, so minus 2P becomes plus 2P, plus P rather, minus P becomes plus P now is equal to 15, right? All right, so 2P plus P becomes 3P is equal to 15. So divide both sides by the coefficient of this P, right? So it is 3. So divided by 3 and divided by 3. 3 here, 1. 1 times P is P. So this is equal to 3 here, 1, 3 here is 5. So this is equal to 5. So P is equal to 5, right? So option D is the correct option, right? So let's go to the next one. Solve the equations. 2x plus y is equal to 4 and x plus y is equal to 2 simultaneously. We have done simultaneous equation in this class. So you can go back to the video, just search through the channel. You'll get a full study about simultaneous equation. But let's solve this question about simultaneous equation. Say 2x plus y. 2x plus y, 2x plus y is equal to 4, then x plus y is equal to 2. X plus y is equal to 2. So these are equation 1, right? These are equation 2. This is how. So you look at. When we learned simultaneous equation, I said there are different methods of solving simultaneous equation: elimination method, okay, substitution method, graphical method, right? So I mentioned to you that if you have one of the variables whose coefficient is just 1, or if two of the variable the coefficient, you just use elimination method so that you can quickly eliminate that variable, then know what to do next. So let's say subtract equation 2 from equation 1. So subtract equation 2 from equation 1. Why do I say so? Since we have y here, having a coefficient of 1, okay, coefficient of 1 here, so we can just subtract so that y will be eliminated, right? That is elimination method. So what we have there is 2x minus plus y minus x plus y is equal to 4. This is equal to 2, right? So let's see what the answer will be. Let's start from here. 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. Y minus y, this will become 0, so it's eliminated. Now 2x minus x, this now becomes x. So we have x is equal to 2. So this is straightforward. X is just simply equal to 2, right? So if x is equal to 2, right? So put the value of x into any of the equation, we'll get the value of what? Of y. So put x equal to 2 into any of the equation. Let's say equation 1 and 2. Why I chose equation 2 is because I don't want stress. If I put in equation 1, I'll have to divide both sides. But this one, just x and y. I can just put this here. I take here. Yeah, I've seen the value of y already. Okay. So this is now x plus y is equal to 2. So the value of x is 2. So where I have x, I put 2 plus y is equal to 2, right? So let's see if we can do this, complete this here. So we have 2 plus y is equal to 2, right? So take like terms, take this one to this point. So we have y being alone now. It will now be 2 minus 2. So y is equal to 0. Is that okay now? So x is equal to 2. y is equal to 0. That is what satisfies that equation. So x is equal to 2, right? Y is equal to 0. So option D is the correct option, right? All right, so we'll go to the next one. The next question says, if x is equal to 2y is equal to 24y over PR, make y the subject of the formula. Also in this channel, we have done that, changing subjects of formula. You can go back to that class, look at it very well. It was well explained so that you know how to go about that in your exams. All right, so let's see this now. So if x is equal to 24y all over PR, they say we should what? Make y subject of the formula. So subject of the formula is expressing this particular formula in terms of y. That is, make y to stand alone in one part of the equal sign so that every other thing will be on the other side. That's what it means, okay? So what we do here is simply, let's cross multiply. This is a fraction in one side of the equation, another fraction here. So cross multiply, all right? So 24y times 1. So this will be 24y is equal to x times PR will be x PR, right? So to make y stand alone, is to simply divide both sides by 24. So this is 24 and this is 24, right? 24 into 24 is 1. 1 times y is y. So y is equal to x PR over 24. This is the subject of that formula that we are asked to change. So y is equal to 24x PR, 24xpr, sorry, is equal to xpr rather, is equal to xpr over 24. So option B is the correct one there. Is equal to xpr over 24. So let's be careful to pick the right answer, right? So B is the correct option. Okay, so let's see number 10. Number 10 says x plus 1 divide by 5x minus 1 equals 1 over 6. All right, so x plus 1 divide by 5x minus 1 is equal 1 over 6. So this is a single fraction. Hope you know that this is a single fraction. We are not doing any simplification here. It is in its simplest form, right? So this is also a single fraction. So what we do here is to cross multiply. Very straightforward, right? So 6 times everything here, all this one times 1, right? So 6 times x is what? So this is 6x. 6 times 1 is 6, right? Good. So we have 5x minus 1 times 1 is still 5x minus 1, right? So we cannot take like terms. Take like terms. Let all the expressions that have s come to x, all real number go to real number. So let 5 come to where we have 6s. Let 6 that is a real number go to where 1 is, right? So we have 6x, right, minus 5x is equal to minus 1 minus 6, right? Minus 1 minus 6. Why is it minus 6? Because this plus 6 has now changed, right? Has not moved to the other side of the equation, so it changes to the other side. Okay, so 6x minus 5x is x, right? Okay, so minus 1 minus 6 is minus 7. So that is the answer. So x is equal to minus 7, and that is option A. That is the correct option there. All right, so let's go to the next one. Expound this. The 11. Expound x plus 2, bracket x plus 2, close the bracket, right? Open bracket again. 2x minus 1. This is a factorized algebraic expression. So they want us to put it in a normal algebraic expression that is not factorized. So let's look at that. X plus 2, x, 2x minus 1. So we go. To do this, everything in this bracket must multiply everything here. So also this one multiply everything here. So each of them, this one multiply everything, this one multiply everything. So this is equal to x times 2x is 2x squared, right? That is x, that is x squared now, right? So we have x times minus 1, it will give us minus x. 1 times anything is that thing, right? 1 times u is u, 1 times me is me, 1 times y is y, 1 times anything is that thing, right? So 1x times minus 1 is minus x, right? So we go to 2, we are done with x, we go to 2. 2 times 2x is plus 4x, right? 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. Okay, so we have 2x square, all right, minus x plus 4x, minus x plus 4x, this gives us what? Plus 3x minus 2. So this is the simplified form of this particular thing. So we have 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. which is option A, 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. Option A is the correct one. So you will always be careful to check because some of them you may be confused in seeing the one that is the correct one there, even when you have finished solving your answer correctly. All right? Okay, so let's see the next one. We have use the table below to answer question 12 and question 13 for the relation y is equals 2x plus 5. All right? Okay, so they say we should use this table. So let me bring out the table out. The table says we have x and y axis on the table. So we have x and we have y. So we have minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for minus 4, we have minus 3. For minus 3, we have A, 1, B, 5, C, 9, D, and 13. All right, so now this is the relation y is equal to 2x plus 5. Okay, so question 12 now. So let's look at what the question is. So question 12 says, find the value of A. So find the value of A. See A, right? So find what is the value of this A, right? So simply substitute what you have as x. Remember, these things are values of x. These are values of y. So to see the value of y, which is this A, okay, they are asking us what is the value of y when x is minus 3. When x is minus 3. This is the value of y when x is minus 4. This is the value of y when x is minus 2. This is the value of just like that. So we want to know, how do we get the value of y when x is minus 3? It is simple. The simple thing to do is where the value of x in that particular column, all right, in that particular column, just substitute it where you have x in this y expression, and you get the value of y. So this is y is equals to 2 times, what is our x for A is minus 3. 2 times minus 3 plus 5, right? So y will be equals to 2 times minus 3 is minus 6 plus 5. So y will be equal to minus 3 plus 5, right? Minus 6 plus 5. You're owing somebody 6 naira, you have 5 naira, you still owe the person 1 naira. So it is minus 1, right? So A is equal to minus 1, right? So A is minus 1. And that is option B, right? Good. So we'll go to the next one. 13 says find B times C, B times C plus D. D times C plus D. B times C plus D. It means that we need to know what the value of B is, what the value of C is, and what the value of D is. When we know their values, then we can now multiply them and add D to them, right, to it, right? So what is the value of B? Okay, B is here now. So B will be equal to, right, will be equal to, see the relation here, 2x plus 5, okay? So this will be also 2B is minus 1. That is what x is, minus 1 plus 5, right? So this is 2 times minus 1 is minus 2 plus 5, okay? Minus 2 plus 5 is plus 3. Do you get the point now? You are owing somebody 2 naira, you have 5 naira. When you pay 2 naira, you still have 3 naira. That is plus 3. Then for C, it will be equal to 2x plus 5. So you will always make reference to this relation, okay? So that means C will now be equal to 2 into x. What is the x? Where you have C, x is 1. 2 into 1 plus 5, right? So this is 2 times 1 is 2 plus 5. So C is equal to 7, right? So let's see what our D is. YD will now be what? 2x plus 5. What is our x in D? In this, the x is 3, right? So this is 2 into D, x is 3. 2 into 3 plus 5, right? So 2 times 3 is 6 plus 5. That is what? 11. So we say therefore, right? They say we should find B times C plus D. Our B is what now? Our B is 3, right? That is 3. C is what? 7. Y, our D is what? 11, right? Good. So 3 times 7 is 21. 21 plus 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. Right? 1 plus 2 is 3. So 32. Is that okay now? 32. So that is option E. That is the correct option. Now look at the next one. They gave us an expression. Look at it on the board. Okay. They said the figure below represents which of the following inequalities. Now be careful. Look at it very well. In inequalities, where you have this 0, look at your screen and look at the direction of the cursor of my mouse, right? So the cursor is pointing at this particular place where you have like a circle, right? And that circle is shaded. Now, when any inequality expression is shaded, it means that inequality is either greater than or equal to or less than or equals to. Do you get the point now? So if it is greater than or equal to, or even greater than, the arrow moves to the right. If it is less than or equal to, the arrow moves left. Now here it is at -2 and it is facing right. So the value of x here is x is greater than or equal to -2. So it will come down. Look at it here, option D. X is greater than or equal to -2. So option D is our correct option. We'll move to the next. All right, so there's nothing to solve there. That's just why I have to show you that on the screen. So let's look at number 15. 15 says 2/3 of a certain number is greater than 6. Find the range of values of the number. Now look at it. Let the number be x, right? Since we have x in all our answers there, right? Or in all our options, rather. So we say let the number be x, right? So the question is 2/3 of a certain number is greater than 6. So 2/3 of x is greater than 6. That is what they asked us to do. So they say, find the range of values of the number. So this is 2/3 times x is greater than 6. So this is 2 times x is 2x all over 3 is greater than 6, right? Cross multiply. So this is 2x is greater than 6 times 3. 2x is greater than 6 times 3, 18. Then here we divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is 2. So this is over 2 and this is over 2. This x will now be equal to 2 here, 1. 2 in 18 is 9, right? So our x is greater than 9. The range of values of x is x are numbers greater than 9. That is from 10, 11, 12, 13, and all that, right? X is greater than what? 9. Those are the range of values. Greater than 9. Okay. So let's look at the sum of 16. The sum of two numbers is 9, and the difference is 3. I think this is a simultaneous equation. When you see this kind of, when we did simultaneous equation, we did what problems that can lead to simultaneous equation. So this is one of them, right? It says the sum of two numbers is 9, and their difference is 3. Find the values of the number. So let the numbers be x and y, right? Since this is a simultaneous equation problem, right? So this is 16. Let the numbers be x and y. All right? So the question says the sum of x and y is 9. So x plus y is equal to 9, equation 1. And it now says the sum of two numbers is 9 and their difference is 3. So x minus y is equal to 3, equation 2, right? So we solve this thing simultaneously. We can also do elimination method there, all right? This x can be eliminated if we subtract equation 2 from 1, okay? So if we subtract, so we are subtracting this equation from this equation. We start here. 9 minus 3 is what? 6, right? It's true now. Okay? So we have y minus y. It will give us 2y. How? Y minus y, right? Y or minus y. Anywhere you see these two minus like this, minus something, that means this minus multiplies this minus to give us y plus y. Minus times minus is plus. Minus times minus is plus. So y plus y is 2y, right? So this is 2y. X minus x is eliminated because x minus x is 0, right? Very good. So the next thing is divide both sides by the coefficient of y, which is 2. So here is over 2, here is over 2, right? 2 here, 2 here, 1 times y is y. So y is equal to 3. So because 2 here is 1, 2 in 6 is 3. So y is equal to 3, right? So what is our x? Okay, if you can see for our x, let's just look at what our x will be. If we can take a part of this, our board, all right? So if y is equals 3, it means our x, we substitute y equals to 3 into any of the equation of your choice. So we can decide to take, let's say equation 1. That first time we took equation 2. So let's take equation 1 into 1, right? So equation 1 says x plus y is equal to 9. So what is our x plus y is what? 3 is equals 9, right? So x will now be equals to, because we are taking like terms here, 9 minus 3, right? So x will now be equals to what? 6. Is that correct? Yes. So our the numbers is 3 and 6, right? 3 and 6, or 6 and 3, whichever one. So option D is the correct option, 6 and 3 or 3 and 6. All right. So let's look at it. Oh, the next one again is simultaneous. So we have solved, like we are solving. This should be the third simultaneous equation. So you should be you should always take note of these questions that keep repeating, okay? So it's important you look at your simultaneous equation very well, because you have some repeated questions from simultaneous equation. So solve the simultaneous equation. 3x plus 2y is equal to 6, and 2x plus y is equal to 4. We are going to use substitution method in this one, okay? All right, so let's use substitution method to solve this particular one. 3x plus 2y, 3x plus 2y is equal to 6. Equation 1. The next thing we have there is 2x plus y. 2x plus y is equals to 4. Is equal to 4, equation 2. All right? So let's use substitution method. Why I want us to use substitution method is because we don't have two, what is it called? We don't have a variable, okay, that has coefficient of 1 in both equations. We can actually convert. We can make each of them to have the same variable. I've also taught you that. We can multiply this. We can multiply this now by 2, and we'll have 2y here and do elimination. But that is a long process. So let's just do substitution. Let's do substitution method. So let's make in equation 2 y the subject of the formula. So in equation 2, in 2, make y the what? Subject. Why are we making y subject? Because y is alone, so it is good. So we'll just take this one to this place, right? So that we'll have 2x first of all plus y is equals 4, right? So we take this 2x here so that y will be alone. Y will now be equals to 4 minus 2x, right? So we have made y. So this is our equation 3. Remember this concept of naming your equation in simultaneous equations, okay? So from equation 3, substitute the value of y into equation 1, okay? Put 3, sorry, this is 3 into 1, right? So this will mean 3x plus 2y is equal to 6, right? So where we have x, where we have y, we will put 4 minus 2x. So this will be 3x plus 2 into, that is now, this y now is now 4 minus 2x is equal to 6, right? Correct. So this is 3x plus 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times minus 2x is minus 4x is equal to 6, right? So we have 3x minus 4x. 3x minus 4x give us minus x. You see that? So then, okay, let me make it simple for you so that you don't get confused. So let's 3x, let 4 come to where 3x is, then plus 8 is equal to 6. So it's better like this now. It's still the same thing. I just rearrange it so that 4 can come to where x is so that you understand. Take like terms, 8 should come here. So we have 3x minus 4x is equal to 6 minus 8. Plus we change to minus, right? So 3x minus 4x is equal to minus x is equal to 6 minus 8 is minus 2. Divide both sides by the coefficient of 1 of x, which is 1. So here we cancel, right? But to just do that for you, this is over minus 1 over minus 1. Minus cancel minus. 1 divided by x is the 1 divide x is still x. Y minus cancel this. 1 divide 2 is 2. So x is equal to 2. While our y, to get the value of y, put the value of x into equation 2, into equation 3. Why? Because we have already made y subject to the formula. We'll just put the expression there and we'll get it. So we'll say put x equal to 2 into equation what? 3. So equation 3 says y is equal to 4 minus 2x, right? 4 minus 2x. So y will be equal to 4 minus 2 minus 2x is 2. So y will be equals to 4 minus 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 minus 4, y is equal to 0. So therefore, x is equal to 2, y is equal to 0. All right? X is equal to 2, x is equal to 2, y is equal to 0. So that is equation. That is option E, the correct option there, right? So let's go to the next one. We have simplify They ask us to simplify that expression. We're asked to simplify x squared. Let me change this. X squared bracket x squared minus 1 minus open bracket x plus 2 close bracket square, right? So let's do this. So this is x squared. Is that minus? Yes, minus 1. Okay, now this means minus x plus 2, x plus 2, because of the raised to power 2, right? So now this will mean x squared minus 1 minus, now let this minus distribute into everything we have here. So this will be minus x, right? Minus times plus is minus, so minus 2, right? So that is what that means. And this will now mean x plus 2, right? So let's do that. So we have x squared minus 1. So minus x times x is minus x squared, all right? Minus x times plus 2 is minus 2x. Then we go to the next one. So minus 2 times x will give us minus 2x, right? Then we have minus 2 times plus 2 is minus 4, right? So let's open this now. There is nothing we are doing here because the number out here is 1. 1 times everything is still that thing, right? So we are having x squared minus 1 minus x squared minus 2x minus 2x minus 4. So let's just rearrange to, okay, so this is x squared, bring x squared to x squared, right? So we have minus 2x minus 4, and we have minus 1, 2, right? So let's go. X squared minus x squared is 0, right? X minus x is 0. Anything minus itself is 0. So minus 2x minus 2x will give us minus 4x, right? Then minus 4 minus 1 is minus 5, right? Now if you look at your option, none of this answer is there because they want you to simplify this or to factorize this. We can factorize this, right? So what that will mean is if we have this here, we have a common factor that is common to this, and that common factor is negative, that is minus. So we can bring minus out, then put everything inside 4x, okay? If this goes to 4x, that is minus 4x now. Then what will we put here so that it will still be minus 5? We are going to put positive here, that is plus 5, such that if we open this bracket, minus 4x will give us minus times 4x minus 4x. Minus times plus 5 is minus 5. So this is our answer. The correct option there is option 4x plus 5 minus open bracket 4x plus 5. That is option D is the correct option there. All right, so let's look at the next one. Simplify. That is 19. Simplify 72 PQR. 72 PQR divided by minus 9Q. So this is simply 72 PQR divided by minus 9Q. First of all, Q, we remove Q, all right? Do you get that now? Q removes Q. So 9 into 72 is 8, right? 9 into 72 is 8. So this will now be 8PR divided by this minus 1, because 9 into itself is 1 minus 1. right? So this is 8PR divided by minus 1 is minus 8PR, right? So that's the correct answer there, minus 8PR. That is C, minus 8PR. All right. So number 20. So number 20, let's go to the 20th question. If 3 is divided by the sum of x and 1, the result equals to 3 divided by 5. Find the value of x. So if 3 is divided by the sum of x and 1, the result equals to 3 divided by 5. So find the value of x. So let's look at that. If 3 is divided by the sum of x and 1, so it means in number 20, they are saying that 3 is divided by the sum of x and 1, that is x plus 1. And they said that the result, remember what I told you about when you hear result, the result is equal to, means equal to, right? The result equals to 3 also divided by 5. So they're asking, what is the value of x? Cross multiply. These are two fractions, a fraction here, a fraction here. So 3 times everything here. 3 times x, 3x. 3 times 1 plus 3. Is that okay? Then is equal to 5 times 3 here. 5 times 3 or 3 times 5, 15. Cross, take like terms, right? So we have 3x is equal to 15 minus 3, right? 15 minus 3. So we have 3x equal to 15 minus 3 is 12. So divide both sides by 3 to have the value of x over 3, x, and 3. So we have x is equal to 3 here is 1, 3 here is 4. X is equal to 4, right? So x is equal to 4.